Hey everyone, it's Mike from Rogala Photography here. Today, I want to show you guys how to do a basic edit of a drone photo in Lightroom Classic. Pretty much they are the same as doing a landscape photo, except, the lighting is slightly different. Obviously the perspective is different. In this particular case, it is almost vertical, straight down. Now, this is a photo of the Erie Canal here in Rochester, New York. And this is a barge carrying a pedestrian bridge actually, it came from Italy. And then once it came here to the United States, it got to the St. Lawrence River, Hudson River, blah, 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 blah. Then again to the Erie Canal. And it took about 2 weeks or so. There was two parts to it. This is the second barge. Okay. And the bridge is going to Buffalo, New York, which is about an hour from where I am. And they are using it for the new Buffalo Bills stadium. It is going to be a pedestrian bridge going across one of the highways over where the stadium is. It was actually a real adventure. I learned a lot from following this thing. Different rules. It's great to actually see the Erie Canal being used the way it was intended to be used. This right here is a drawbridge. It's actually in the up position right now. And then right here is the barge. All right, so here we are in the Develop tab. And like I always tell you whenever I'm editing in Lightroom Classic, normally I would use a linear profile, okay? And if you don't know what a linear profile is, I have a video link down in the description. You can go watch my other video. But for today, like I did with the portrait video, I'm going to actually just do Adobe Neutral, okay? Basically what it does, you can see it kind of faded it a little bit. Now, if I use the linear, you can see it does a lot more. It really, really gives you a lot of dynamic range when using linear profiles. And again, those are camera specific. Now, I could use a landscape, but I just don't like the way the greens turn out with that. I mean, I could change it, but I want to give myself the best possible starting point. So first things first, let's come on over here. We'll get the eyedropper. We'll find this right here. Okay. And it kind of gave a little bit too much. So I am going to actually increase the tint back down on the blues just a little bit. It actually looked like a fall day. There were like big puffy clouds in the air and the sky was blue. And it looked, almost like a fall day the way the clouds were. And it was actually quite a bit on the chilly side. We just had some bad weather and we have a high pressure that came in and cooled things right off. So it was warm, i.e. temperature warm, the visual temperature, lighting temperature. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't like golden hour or anything like that. So I think that looks pretty good right there. Exposure. I am going to wait with the exposure and contrast. Remember we talked about that in my contrast video. Again, link in description below. Let's bring the highlights down. Okay, right about there. Shadows, we could bring them up. And again, it's because it's a drone fit of photo. It's actually the DJI, the Mavic Air 2S. So it has a 1-inch sensor in it, which is actually a really good sensor for a smaller camera. But again, it's not going to be like using my Canon R5. Okay, much different. So the dynamic range isn't as good as it would be on a Canon or a Sony or something like that. So you might have to do like larger movements or larger, what's the word I'm looking for? Adjustments. Okay. But right now I'm just going to we'll go plus 27. Whites, let's bring that up a little bit, kind of brighten that up. Blacks, I want to bring that down to bring that contrast back down. Okay. You can kind of see how that really deepened everything up. Texture, in this case, I'm going to go positive texture. Got to give it some sharpness, being a drone photo. Clarity, Positive clarity will bring some of that contrast back. Negative clarity, not bad. I'm gonna go more positive though. Vibrance, definitely want to do more vibrance to bring out some of that warmth. We are going to be adjusting those greens and those yellows in a little bit anyway. So now we're going to come on down to the details tab. And pretty much my workflow is the same as it would be with a landscape photo. What I always do is bring the radius down, detail up. This I will bring to about 90 of the sharpening. And if you notice, if you remember my portrait video I did, how to edit a portrait photo, I did not, I did still did the radius and the detail the same, but I only brought it to like around 60 or so, 65 with the sharpening. So just keep that in mind. But also if you hold down the option key and you use this masking, you can see white reveals. So if you look here, everything is white. That means the whole photo is being sharpened. I don't want that. So I want to bring this masking down, and then the black parts will not be sharpened. I mean, why would I want the water sharpened? I don't want it sharpened. So right about there, that's pretty good. It's almost all the way up. So just that part is sharpened. So get used to that though, using that masking slider in the details tab. It's definitely a big plus. But make sure you got to hold down your option key if you're on a Mac. I can't remember which key. I think it's the Alt key on a Windows. But on a Mac, it is definitely the option. All right, calibration tab. I always say this. This is the tab you need to learn how to use, okay? It really, really adjusts your colors nicely. So if I go this way, you can see the greens are turning more bluish. And if I go the other way, they're going to be more on the yellowish side. So this particular slider, I'm going to kind of raise it a little bit. Now, it goes to say with all the tabs in Lightroom, but especially with this calibration tab, a little goes a long way. The hue on the green primary, I am going to bring this up this way just a little bit. And then now I can do that right there. I can go back and adjust it. So let me see. I'm going to bring this back down actually. Right there. And then this is going to come back down to just a little bit. There we go. And the blue primary. I don't always use this slider. I just try to see what it'll do. It's on a photo by photo basis. In this case, because it adds some magenta and really makes those reds and oranges pop, I'm going to add a little bit right there. Okay. And I may actually even increase the saturation on that just a bit. Again, that's going to be readjusted probably in a little bit. Color gray. Actually, we're going to go color mixer. Color mixer. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to use the point color. You can use the old regular mixer with the sliders if you want to. But I find that in certain situations, the point color works much better. So you click the eyedropper. We're going to come on over here with this right here. Click right there. And now I can come on over and I can adjust hue. So I can make it a little more yellowish orange if I want to. Saturation, I don't want to saturate that. I want to bring that down a little bit. Luminance up, brighter or darker. We want to go brighter a little bit. Okay. And that's all I really do with this right here, is each color. So now I also want to adjust the darker greens here. So we're going to go, let's see, there. So you can see there's different swatches here. This one's more of a yellowish green, and this is more of a bluish olive green. Okay. So this one, I want to kind of bring that a little bit towards the blue, but I want to bring the saturation down. And the greens, you got to be really careful with greens and yellows, because I tell you, they can really make a photo look wonky. It just, you got to be careful with them. Now, let's see. Do I want to brighten them? No, I want to make them darker. Okay. So I do want to go darker on that one. I want to come back to this first swatch right here. I want to make it brighter. Okay. Just to give it back that contrast. Now, oranges, I'm actually going to have to adjust them, but you can see here, there's a lot right there. So we got that right there. I'm going to go luminance first. See if that gives me what I need. Bring down the saturation a little bit. Let's go a little bit more, less red on that. Okay. And That's pretty good. Actually, I want to do one more. I want to do this little cyan color right here. Different kind of a green. It's more of a aqua. Boom. There we go. That was a tough one. I want to saturate that up a little bit. Darker. And if you notice, it's also affecting the canal water as well. You can see it changing the highlights. So I kind of like that a little bit. Bring that down. I want to bring the saturation a little bit. Oh yeah, let's go that way. I want to bring that saturation down a little more right there. Okay, that's color mixer. Tone curve, it all depends. I think I'm gonna do a little bit on the mids. Bring that up a little bit, just like that. Kind of make it pop a little bit more. Let's see what else we got here. Color grading. Okay. Now this is where you can add colors into the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. So with highlights, I want to add some warmth. Again, just a little bit to kind of make it pop. Don't want to go too crazy with the saturation. Maybe we can add, actually, it's not bad right there. And then we're going to brighten them up just a tad. Normally, I would add blue into the darks. However, because there's already a lot of bluish green in this photo, I'm going to actually try to go, here to the darks. And I'm going to try to bring this, maybe go a little bit purple, maybe. Know where I'll be bringing that saturation down. Bring that down a little bit. And we're going to bring that down. And again, that's just to kind of take the edge off of those bluish greens. Like I told you before, the greens can really be on the wonky side. In this particular case, I'm not going to touch the mids. I like the mids where they are. But what I do want to do is come back up to my tone curve. I want to make that pop just a little bit more. Just like that. And I want to come down over here. I want to bring my highlights down just. And I want to bring the blacks. Add a little bit more contrast in there. Okay. And you can see, this is the colors, they don't vary that much with this particular photo. And again, when you're taking a straight down photo over a wooded or a forest area in a summertime like this, you're going to get a lot of greens. All right. So you really got to be able to kind of tone them down a bit. Let me come on over to the mixer here, saturation, and we're going to tone down those greens just a little bit more. Yellows, we're going to tone them down too a little bit. And luminance there. Yellows, we're going to brighten them. Oranges, we're going to darken them a little bit. Aquas, we're going to darken just a little bit too. All right, here we go. All right, now we're going to move on to masking. Okay, so first things first, I don't have a sky. What I want to do is a radial gradient. And one thing about drone photos like this, when there's no sky in it, it definitely they are easier in some ways to edit, especially when it comes to masking. Okay, you don't need as many masks. So I'm going to increase the exposure just a little bit, but I want to again decrease the highlights, shadows, the blacks right there. Okay, I'm going to increase my bit right there to kind of give some contrasting colors. I also want to bring that saturation. And because this is an architectural object, I'm going to increase the texture and I'm going to increase the clarity just to make it pop right in there. Now I'm going to add another radial gradient. And this is my secret for all my photos. I do not like using the effects tab, which is basically the vignette built into Lightroom. Much more control doing it this way with a radial gradient. So now I need to come on up and click invert. Right. Let me see, do I want to feather that more? A little bit less. Actually, now I want to bring down my exposure just like that to give all the attention to that one, to the subject, which is the barge. But that means I do want to increase my whites right there. I want to add a little bit more warmth. And I think the magenta is good right there. Okay. Oh, let me see. I want to do a little bit of dodging and burning here. So I need a brush tool. I'm going to increase my exposure. I'm going to add a little bit of warm temperatures. And now what I want to do is I want to kind of come on over and I want to, some of these highlights actually got to decrease the exposure. I want to just to kind of see, let me add some whites, a little bit more warmth. Oh, let's see over here. We want to, just to kind of, you can kind of see where the highlights are in these trees here. Now I'm just kind of trying to accent them a little bit. See right down here. Down here a bit. Let's see right here. And again, a lot of this has already been done. You know, it's already there. So now what I want to do is I want to add another brush tool. Then now I want to decrease much. And then we're going to come back around here. And let me see. And again, these are just, they're fine details. And you know, they may not look like much, but I tell you, they do make a difference in the overall picture. You know, the average person probably won't notice them, but these darker areas here kind of gives a little depth to these trees here. Let me see over here, definitely. I want to bring back that a little bit right there. Oh, let's see. Right down in here. I think that's about it, actually. Let me see. Actually, I do want to darken. Let me see. I'm going to try something here. Shit, I hope so. Yeah, that worked. Definitely worked there. Kind of made that bridge pop a little bit. Let me try it on the bars here too. And again, these brush tools is just a nice way to kind of fine tune your your photo. Kind of right there. And pretty much this photo. Let me see. Let me get out of that. Trying to see what else this photo could use. Now I could bring it into one of my plugins, but I I promised myself I wouldn't do that today. I just want to do a very basic edit. Okay. So if we take the before, that's what it looked like. There's a raw file out of the camera, and there's after. What a difference that makes. I mean, it looks so much better. You know, and one thing you always want to do is learn to step away before you publish your photos. Learn to step away from them for, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, an hour, whatever, and then come back to them. A lot of times you're going to find you may have either over or under edited, or you may have, added something or didn't add enough or whatever. So you always want to come back to your photos and see, make sure that they are exactly what you wanted. It's what you saw in your eye and your imagination when you took the photo. So I hope you enjoyed editing a drone photo today in Lightroom Classic. If you found this video helpful, please click that like button. I tell you, it's really been helping my channel a lot lately. I've been getting a lot more likes. So please help me out there. If you're not already subscribed, please click that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. So if you could, please, if you enjoyed this video, click that subscribe button. And then if you want to be notified when my next video is posted, just click that bell, ring that bell right there. Okay. Until next time, take care, everyone.